Cool. Hello, hello. This is Anggie Watkins, your extreme encourager, coming to you live. It's Tuesday instead of Monday, and it's around 7:30. But I wanted to talk with you today about 3 myths keeping you from a high-paying Fed job. Hey, Ashley, thank you for joining. I know I have a different time going on, so I'm glad you can make it. So one of the things I want to talk about is, all right, there's, Fed jobs. Oh, thank you. Fed jobs, I know there's a lot of upheaval in general about the federal government in some cases. But one, I'm glad we're still open. But I want to just take some time, just real quick, regardless of how you feel about the administration, who's leading what and where or whatever. Being a civil servant is still a wonderful opportunity to help your fellow man, to help the people of America, depending on whatever agency you actually have an interest in. So one of the things I want to, mimic is, in a way, is like Uncle Sam in a sense. We still need you. So if you're qualified for something, I want to make sure I talk about 3 myths that are keeping people from a high-paying Fed job. So I want to jump in real quick. So number 1, a lot of people believe, for whatever reason, that you have to start low in the government to get in, just to get in, to fit in. And that is not true. So if people are thinking, I'm not trying to take a salary cut, I'm not starting at a 5, a 7, or a 9, that is not necessary either. You can actually start off in double-digit grades, like an 11, a 12, a 13, or higher, and going up to, depending on your experience, even starting as a senior level, again, depending on your experience. So I want to break that myth first and foremost. You do not have to start low. You read the qualifications of the announcement, you demonstrate how you're experienced in it, and you apply. So, myth number 1, you have to start low, not true. Just get in. You can find the job of interest. Do not let the grade numbers intimidate you from reading the announcement and looking exactly what they're looking for so you can fill and apply for the position. Myth number 2, and this is, I'm now speaking to some of the people who are longtime Fed people, that you have to be in the lower grade level for a year before you can apply. Again, for those people already in the federal space, that is a myth. It's not true. When you read the announcement closely, now let me rephrase that. That is not the truth as it is right now. They changed it. So for one example, sometimes you would see an announcement for a 12 or 11 or whatever, and you saw a comparable announcement open to the public. So if it's open to the public, and you can actually do it, and they're talking about being the next grade level for being the lower grade level for a year, you can circumvent that by just applying as open to the public. So they basically got away with that. And what an announcement, if you read closely, and I do encourage you to find one and read closely, is that you must demonstrate experience of a year equivalent to the lower grade level. So, for example, if you happen to be in the federal government at a grade 11 and you see an announcement that is a grade 13, you do not, in fact, if the announcement says you must demonstrate experience, you just demonstrate and document your experience at a grade 13 if you have it. You do not have to be a grade 12 to apply for grade 13 or 14 if you can demonstrate that you have the experience. Hear me again. There are less announcements that actually state you must be in the lower grade level to qualify. They most of the time read, and I do encourage you to read them, demonstrate experience equivalent to the lower grade level. So that's myth number 2. So if you've been like, I'm a 9, I can't go for a 12. I'm a 11, I can't go for a 14. Read the announcement closely for those words and go out and get your job, especially if you actually qualify for that position. Myth number 3, only paid experience matters. Not true. Unpaid experience is just as important as paid experience, especially, again, if you're trying to do the other thing about grade, the being at a lower grade level. If you happen to volunteer for something and you've been in that role for a year, or more, and you're not paid, you don't get a salary, or you don't get, anything because you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. If that experience actually is relevant to the job announcement, because you're going to be reading them more now that you know that you can actually do some things, as long as you can document that unpaid experience and what you've learned from them, and it's equivalent to the job announcement, you're qualified. So I almost feel like a blue collar Jeff Foxworthy. If you have the experience, you're qualified for a high-paying government position. Just go read the announcement. Again, read the announcement. So to recap, the 3 myths: you do not have to start out low to get into the government, especially if you're qualified. Myth number 2, you don't have to be in the grade level for the lower grade level for a year. You have to demonstrate the experience. And third, unpaid experience is relevant when it comes to actually applying. The main thing is, if you have the qualifications, apply. If you read the announcement closely and not be intimidated by the grade number, I encourage you to apply. We're missing out on some really awesome, wonderful, qualified people because you're stuck behind some myths that are no longer relevant, they're no longer true. And bottom line, please read the announcements in detail. You're missing out on a lot of opportunities that you're qualified for, that you could benefit from, and so could the government benefit from your experience. So this is Angie Watkins, your Extreme Encourager. And if you need help trying to figure out what jobs you may actually be qualified for, there is a link in the video that you can fill out a quick application and let me know what you're interested in so we can actually schedule some time to talk. So the main reason, again, I share about these myths is because I defied all of them. And I think I've shared it with you before, but it bears repeating. I started in the government as a grade 13, double digit right off the bat. I was 28, under the age of 30, no college degree, but I had the experience that I can document and demonstrate, and I was selected after the second try. So there's more behind that story, but the bottom line is I demonstrated my experience. I didn't let the grade intimidate me. I read the announcement, said I could do it. I documented what I could actually do, my capabilities, and I made it. So the whole point is, so can you. Stop being intimidated by the grade numbers. Don't let these myths stop you, and go for the job that you want and get compensated for the skills that you have within the federal government. All right, till next time, this is Angie Watkins, your Extreme Encourager. I'll talk to you soon. Please feel free to provide any questions that you have, and I'll get to you in the comments below. Thanks.